Mhm. Got it. Here we are. Okay, got it. What an amazing day it is to be alive. I am Darlaina Rose, your premier health and well-being coach specializing in emotional healing. And my good friend, Christopher Jones out of Costa Rica will be joining us. Here he is. Let me send the invite. There we go. Conversations are always amazing, and today will be no different. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to see you. Amazing as always, you know. Life is good. Thank you. Life is good and amazing, and
I always feel better when if it's something wrong and I get on with Rose, I feel better
automatically.
All the worry, all the stress goes away. It's like going.
Absolutely same. So I'm excited. What are we talking about?
Yeah. We talk about an important topic right now that I think everybody in the whole world is dealing with: depression.
Yeah.
Depression.
Absolutely. Depression is definitely a big thing, especially pre, post, and during the pandemic. More people.
So much. So much. I'm gonna turn down my fan. Hold on.
Okay.
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The pandemic brought, the crazy thing about the pandemic is that it came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people weren't ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like when the world shut down, people were like, what are we going to do? They had no contingency plan. They had no. People were going crazy. You remember the toilet paper ran out?
Uh-huh.
And, like everything, people were just like going insane, and some people, it's interesting because I started to do my major healing in like 2018. So I was doing so much healing in 2018, and I was like staying inside. I wasn't going out a lot. I was focused on my business. And I was so focused between 2018 and 2020 that when the pandemic came, I was already like, "Oh, y'all can't go outside." I ain't been going outside anyway. And so it's interesting how, when you deal with your own thoughts, it helps you. It almost helps you with things that you don't even know are going to come up, like depression. And, depression comes in waves, right? 1 minute we could be totally fine. We could be happy. And then 1 week, and then the next minute, all these feelings start to come back, and sadness and loneliness, and that affects depression.
Yeah.
So I wrote down a couple of things that we can go through today that, like for the last, I want to say, and you know this feeling, losing our parents.
Yes.
A lot of depression comes up. With that topic, and it's like a never-ending cycle, right?
Yeah.
Because for all of our lives, we were so used to having him. And then they're just gone. So for me, after my mom passed, I was very depressed. I mean, I'm talking about, drinking and crying and, not wanting to go out. And it really affected my personal life. It affected my anxiety.
Yeah.
It raised my anxiety. And so, I had to do certain things to not be depressed. I had to surround myself around the right people. I had to, and I wasn't at that time, I wasn't even as educated as I am about meditation and about going within and healing certain traumas.
Mm-hmm.
But a huge part of dealing with depression, because you never really, I don't think there's a cure for depression. I think as long as we're inside of this human body, we're always going to deal with depression.
Yeah, some
always.
form, for sure.
I feel like it comes in waves, especially when you are a server, especially when you're a healer, especially when you are a person who helps other people.
Yeah.
Because we give so much of ourselves
to
others.
Do. Yes, we do.
Our clients, our children, our family members, our friends, but more specifically because, our friends and our family members, they're in our lives, whether we want them to be or not.
Yep.
So we're always going to deal with them. But our clients, the people that, hire us or need us to help them go through, a trauma or go through a healing experience with their body, we take on a lot of their energy.
We do.
Because we're inside of their circle, we're a part of their aura. We become connected spiritually, energetically.
Yes.
And so that leads to depression as well. A lot of people, it's so crazy. You might get off the phone with someone. I remember you was telling me the story about the women in the other room, and they were their conversation was so low frequency, and you could feel it in your heart.
Yes.
Oh, that causes depression. And so we have to be so mindful of even the people that are around us.
I had an experience. I was going to say, I had this experience, my brother got killed in 2018. 2019, my family was invited to a day of remembrance for those people who were taken by gun violence. And I wanted to go to represent my family. And I did go. But when I got in the room, I immediately started to weep. I hadn't even got in the room good. By the time I got to a seat and sat down, the overwhelming amount of grief in the room, I could barely stand. I couldn't lift myself. I literally had my sister holding me up. And she was like, what? I said, this room is too heavy. I can't stay in here. I got to get out of this room. Wow. We absolutely carry all. There were people telling their stories. There were people just crying out, screaming.
Yeah.
Saying my baby. And it was just, I felt it in my whole soul. My gut felt sick. My heart hurt. Everything was just, and that was 2019. I wasn't even this person yet.
Right.
And I literally had to remove myself from the room. And the following year, when we got invited again, I respectfully declined.
Yeah.
We carry other people's stuff.
That's such an important essential trait to have, to be able to. That's one of the things that's on my list. When you're when you're going through healing and depression,
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn how to create boundaries. So boundaries are not going to that event where you know people are going to make you sad. Not going to that party that you know is just going to be over in 2 hours and you're just going to, you know, smoke and drink and then go home and cry, you know. It's saying no to people that are toxic and come into your life and you know that they have this toxic trait.
Yeah.
And you still allow them to come around and, you know, and
keep talking. I'm gonna grab some water. Keep talking.
Yeah. So I had to learn that as well. Like even when my mother passed away, I was in the limousine when they dropped us off to the church, and they were asking me, like the family was like, okay, we're gonna go into the viewing now. And I was like, no, I'm gonna sit in the limo and wait until after the viewing is over because I didn't want to see my mother's body that way. I didn't want that to be the last image of me seeing my mother in a casket in a box, right? So everybody was like, oh, are you okay? This, that, and the third. And you know, you know the journey with my mother. You know, I was very strong. I was very focused on helping her find healing.
Yeah.
So my defense mechanism against being depressed later down the line was saying, no, I'm going to stay in the limo. I don't want to see my mother's body that way. I don't want to remember her that way. And that helped me so much because the images, like that image that you have in your mind, it stays there forever.
Yes.
I knew that I did not want that image in my mind.
Yes.
I knew it. I was like, no, I'm okay, you know. And that was a form of kind of healing for me, and almost like having foresight. There's certain things that happen in our life that show us that show us things that will happen in the future. If we take those lessons, we can use them against depression. It's almost like having like superpower or having like a sixth sense of things that come up, because we can't make it out this life without sadness. We can't make it out this life without loneliness. We can't make it out this life without hurt, pain, grief, depression. So when you know that these things are going to come up in the future, there's certain tools that we have been given and lessons that we've been given so that we don't have to go down that same road. Yeah. You know? And I think that a lot of people, they go through these depressing states because it's like a cycle. And they go through these cycles and it's like, oh, 1 minute they're happy, 1 minute they're sad, 1 minute they're happy, 1 minute they're sad. It's like, you know, and it's like, you know, we can't always be in a level of happiness because things are going to come up. But if we are prepared for these things in a way that we can work through the depression and it goes away quicker, then I think this world will be a better place. Absolutely.
Louise Hayes says that depression is anger you feel you do not have the right to have. And it is hopelessness. And she gives...
Say that one more time.
She says, I'm reading from You Can Heal Your Life.
Oh, nice.
And you know, she gives you the chart for every ailment and the emotion that caused it. And under depression, she says it is anger you feel you do not have a right to have. So it causes the depression.
Anger that you do not feel you have the right to have. Ooh, that's powerful.
And powerful. She also says it's hopelessness for something.
Hopelessness?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel that when I was at my lowest, when I was going through depression, I felt like no one understood me. Yeah. I felt like no one, you know, I felt like I was like just the only person going through this. It was so interesting, the feelings that came up, you know, and the sadness. Oh my God, the sadness was just so
overwhelming. It takes
heavy,
over.
So heavy.
It takes
so
over.
Heavy, you know, and to even be in this state that I'm in now, you know, when you look back and you're like, wow, I never thought I was going to make it through that.
I didn't think I was going to make it.
You know, I didn't think I was going to make it through that.
Oh my God.
You know.
Just the thought of it. I remember when my father passed away, I didn't think that I would ever stop crying. I remember coming home after, you know, being at my mom's house for hours, and getting in the bed. And all I remember was crying for days. I don't remember eating. Wow. I don't remember drinking. I don't remember anything other than crying. And my family saying, you gotta get up. You gotta get up. You gotta get up. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm just gonna stay right here. We love you too, TJ. And, yes. And so I know that depression from loss can hit hard. Nothing else matters in that moment. Your job don't matter, your bills don't matter, no one else, the living doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Yeah. And so we continue to deal with those things, because just yesterday, my father passed away in 2013. And it hit me yesterday like it was yesterday. Yes. I had the same experience. It was February 25th, 2022 this year. And I was meditating. It was my February 25th, my mother's birthday. And I was meditating, and I was fine at the beginning of the meditation. And then all of a sudden, just like tears poured down. Like it was just yesterday. I was crying so hard. You would feel like she just died the day before. Yeah. It's been 10 years. It's been 11 years, you know? Yeah. Same. And, but you know what I found this time is that I worked through the emotions so much easier. Yeah. Like I did my crying, and you know, and I could feel her spirit, and it was over. It was over in maybe 7 minutes, 10 minutes, and then my day was fine. It's almost like a purge. When you do plant medicine, certain plant medicines, some of the things that happen from the effects of the plant medicine is they call it a purge. So some people cry, some people throw up, some people go to the bathroom, some people shake, some people sweat. It's a spiritual purge. Yeah. So when these things happen and they come up in waves, these emotions come in waves, it's actually a purge. It's, my mother always said, it's better out than in. Yes. If you keep that in, it's not going to be good for your insides. No. You have to let these emotions out. You have to let the tears out. You have to let the sadness out. Mm-hmm. You know, it's let like the anger. Let the anger out. It's good. I honestly think it's good. It is good. It is good. I, as a certified emotion code practitioner, the people that I work with are people who have trapped emotions. The emotions get trapped, and emotions, when they become trapped, they become the disease. So every illness that you have. Wait. Go back. Say that one more time. The emotions become trapped. The emotions become the disease, the dis-ease. And so become a disease. The emotions become the disease. You know, I am a heart disease survivor. Your heart is your love center. So anyone who is suffering from any form of heart anything, All you have to do is trace it back to who broke your heart. It could be a significant other, husband, wife, child, mother, father, who broke your heart. And that is the cause of any heart disease.
So good.
And so my job then is to not only help you to find where it came from, I can pinpoint it to the year that it got trapped there. And then using the modalities of muscle testing and magnetic therapy, we then remove the emotion. Once we see, Louise Hay came up with the list.
Yeah.
And then she gave us the affirmations to begin the process of releasing the emotion. But then Dr. Bradley Nelson came up with the emotion code and said, listen, I think that what Louise Hay is saying is great, but I don't trust that you're going to do the work. So instead of leaving it up to you, I'm going to use these magnets and I'm going to pull that energy out of you.
Ooh,
and once we pull the energy out, then I can tell you what supplements to take, what food to eat, what exercise to do, because one without the other doesn't work. You need both. You need both. What's Brenda saying? She has a long message there. 11 years of my dad passing next week on Friday the 13th to the exact date, reliving all the emotions leading up to that date since the beginning of this month. Oh yeah. Sometimes you have to, you know that it's coming, right? And so knowing that it's coming, you prep yourself. You prep yourself with meditation. You prep yourself with the good memories. See, they say that time heals all wounds. And I can tell you that that is a lie from the pit of hell. That is a lie. It's not true. This wound never heals.
Yeah.
This wound never heals. But what it does, what time does, it makes it tolerable. It makes you, it allows you to remember the good part. It allows you to tell the stories. That's what it allows. It doesn't allow the healing. It's not going to heal. It's not going to heal, but it will always be a soft spot that can be ripped open at any given time. But because when time passes, just like you said, like I was in bed, my family tell me now I was in bed for 3 days. Didn't get out the bed for 3 days. So, and I didn't know there was no time. I didn't feel time. There was no time. It just seemed forever to me, but it was 3 days. But now what I experienced just yesterday was in minutes. And the same thing you just said, in minutes. In minutes, we can process through because we're better at it. We're better equipped at it. We understand that this is a reality of life.
So good.
It's the cycle of life that we're in. People live, people die. Some sooner, some later, all of that, but they all have some form of impact on our lives depending on who they are. And so there is an inevitable sadness that will come. And so knowing that as part of the human race, we can never really prepare ourselves for it, but kind of know that once someone has passed on, that they live eternally in our heart center. They will always be with you there. And that is where you pull from when the sadness comes. You know, I often find myself cracking up laughing at the things that my father used to say, especially when stuff was going left. I remember calling him and telling him that my husband asked for a divorce. This is my father. I'm on the phone with him and I am crying. This is my father. I am crying. Dad, he asked for, I mean, I'm crying hard. I'm snotting. And I'm just like, Dad, what I'm gonna do? And my dad says, I mean, he belly rolled for a good minute. And then he said, girl, you're going to be all right. He said, that boy don't want that. He think he want that. He don't want that. And when I tell you, truer words have never been spoken. My ex-husband said maybe 3 years ago, like, why did you let me do that? Why would you let me do that? It was the worst thing I could have ever done, right? But we go with what people want, what people ask for, what they want. But I think about my dad even when my kids became teenagers and my kids was doing stuff, my dad used to say, having a little trouble, huh? See how I made you laugh? That's what he would do. He would always keep the spirit of whatever it was up.
Yeah.
And that is why when my father died in the middle of a blizzard, there was 500 people there. It took the receiving line for the family was 2 hours before they said, listen, we got to let this family go. I could not imagine that if it was not a blizzard, how many people would have shown. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was a bad day. Like all the people had accidents coming.
Oh my God. Cars sliding.
It was bad, but people came. We had 2 buildings. We had a building of people with standing room only, a second building of people with standing room only looking at a monitor.
Oh my goodness.
And still people could not get in.
It's like almost like even in death, he was bringing upliftment, and that's such a beautiful representation of your father, because like he was just such a joy to be around. And like it's so interesting how like the people that we love, they never showed their sadness or depression, or like if their daughter is going through a bad time and they find a way to make a joke out of it. Yes. Or they find a way to not be sad, and then like they're probably cracking up right now, laughing. We over here crying, sad, depressed, and they over here like, if you don't get your ass up
and do something. Hey, Denisha, absolutely. Yeah, listen, whenever stuff is going to the left, like I would think about, and the great thing is for me is that when I talk to people about losing my parents, they say to me stuff like, well, I lost my dad when I was 5, or I lost my mother when I was 2. I had my parents clean until my 40s. My parents knew my children, my parents knew my grandchildren, and so I'm so grateful for that, because I know exactly what my mother would say. I know exactly what my father would say. And then I laugh. I laugh in advance because I already know that my dad would laugh at this. Or yes, or something comes up, you say, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And then I would call my mother or call my dad, and they would simply say, Lena, it always works out. And this is gonna work out too. And then they'll give me some example, and my dad might read me a scripture from the Bible or something. And I remember those scriptures. I could absolutely pick up the Bible, let it fall out on any page. And when I read it, I hear my father's voice.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Because that's who he was. That's who he was. That's what he gonna bring you. Brother Martin, Brother Dave Martin, he's gonna bring you a scripture. And he's gonna give you some scriptural reference as to why he knows that you're gonna be all right.
Yeah. And these are the type of tools, like, even going through that process of, picking up the phone and calling your mom or your dad or your loved one. Like, you can actually go through those things in your head, and those are some of the tools that can help you work through the depression.
Yeah.
Like remembering my mother's laugh, or, remembering like her caring spirit. Like all those things happen. And how you mentioned like hearing your dad's voice as he read the scripture to you, I hear that all the time with my mother. Like if something comes up, like I'll hear her voice, and it'll bring comfort. It's so beautiful to be able to have that ability. What are some of the other forms of depression?
There's
like relationship depression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People get depressed after they lose a job.
Yeah.
You get depressed when you don't have money
and
you don't have funds.
This is the thing I've learned at 57. Life is not happening to you. It 100% is happening for you.
For you.
When I lost my job at Temple University in Philly, you couldn't tell me that life wasn't over, because I had planned on being at that job long enough for my children to go to college for free.
Yep.
So I was going to make this job work. And in the short 9 months that I was there, I learned what it was to have a panic attack. I learned what it was to have an anxiety attack. I didn't know that what that was. I thought I was having a heart attack. And when I got rushed to the hospital, I'm in the hospital, I'm connected to all these things. And this male nurse, I'll never forget it. I can still see his face. He said, "Miss, I don't know what brings you in here, but whatever has caused this, you need to take it out of your life." And it was the job. It was the job. It was the job that I was committed to staying at. And so because even after that happened, and I did not leave. See, that was God talking to me then. Leave.
Right. Yes.
You almost died. Leave. Right? Leave. Or you thought you was dying. Leave. I didn't leave. So I ended up staying like another 3 months until I was fired. And then after I was fired, I was still upset.
Yeah.
But how about from that firation, it led me on this path of writing my best-selling book. It led me to coaching and teaching and speaking.
Yes.
Which I would have never done. And I left Philly and moved to Atlanta. If I was at that job, I would have never moved.
Never.
And then at the almost simultaneously, like right behind that, I was losing my house and all that stuff. So everything that tied me to the city was gone.
Yeah.
And so now I'm feeling this sadness and all, but it's the thought leaders that we have in our life that remind us that we haven't lost anything, that all has happened is that you have been released from something that means you no good for the higher purpose that is on your life. There's a higher purpose on your life. Your job is to identify what the higher purpose is. And when you get to that, the depression will go away. The feelings of sadness will go away, because now you will be filled with the joy of whatever that thing is. You know, each of us have that thing that innately we do it without thought of money. We do it without thought of what you're going to get in return. We just do it. Whatever that thing is that you do, that's the thing that you should be doing.
Yeah.
So if it's speaking, writing, if you paint or draw, like whatever that thing is that you would do for free forever, it's not work. So that's the thing you should be doing for money.
Yeah, I agree.
Because when you do it, the compensation comes.
It's so much more fulfilling and energetically pleasing to the heart, you know.
Yes.
And
yes,
it's so interesting. So many things, like, you know, we worked for other companies and other people for years, and you know, when you're working for someone else, you're fulfilling their dream and their vision and their goal, right?
Yep.
And like you said, you know, your goal was to work at Temple so that your children could go to college for free. So someone else's dream, you wanted to achieve your dream through somebody else's dream.
Yes.
And it's like, that can cause hurt and pain, because ultimately you're fulfilling what their dream.
Yes.
You know, and now look at you.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's another powerful thing is resiliency allows you to work through depression, not
Absolutely.
giving up,
not giving up,
keeping going. Like I've seen people that have lost a family member or lost a job, and they don't come back.
Yeah.
They don't come back mentally. They stay stuck.
Gone.
I mean, they stay stuck in this bowl of trauma, and this bowl of accepting failure and loss.
Yeah.
But you left that job and you said, "Oh, nah, that's not happening to me.
No,
that's not happening to me."
Denisha said life changes can cause a person to become depressed. Absolutely. And then she said you are being pushed out for more. Absolutely. Listen, I just taped the first 2 episodes of the Darlaina Rose show, right? And TJ, the song that you did for me is a part of the intro. So, hey, right? TJ Gilliam, master mixer, manifester, singer, all of that. Oh my God. So the first person that I interviewed was this woman who calls herself the Hood Healer, right? Her son was shot and killed at a school talent show. And the person who shot him was depressed. He had asked for help. This young teenage boy had went to a place to get help, and the people turned him away because he didn't have his mother with him. And so he goes to school, and because he is jealous of her son, he said he wanted his life.
Oh my God.
And he ended up destroying not only Gregory's life, but also his own life. And so she has since forgiven him, learning his story, right? But when her son got killed, she immediately snapped out, gone. She thought it was days. It was 6 years.
Ooh. She was stuck for 6 years.
6 years. And think about being stuck in your mind for 6 years. Right? And when she finally came out of it, she said, "Where's Greg at?
My God.
She said, "I had a terrible dream."
Oh my God.
It wasn't a dream, it was real.
Wow.
So people do get stuck and they can't come out. Tragedy is one of those things that you absolutely need all kinds of support around that. When my brother was killed, somebody being killed that wasn't sick, that you expected to be around for a long time, it's almost like somebody just came up and ripped your arm off or ripped your leg off, or it's just a piece of you gets ripped off violently.
Yes. And I gotta tell you, you handled that your brother passing, being killed so well. I remember, you were sad, but you held a lot of strength together. You held your family together. I feel like all of the things, the hurt, the depression, the sadness that you had went through prior to that kind of prepared you for that.
Yeah.
You were very strong in that moment.
Yeah.
You were very strong. And you had, obviously, there's certain people that our position is to be strong.
Yeah.
A pillar in the family, And I was like, man.
I felt a very strong presence of my father in that moment.
Yeah.
I felt my father, what he would say and what he would do. And I knew that my father would hold it together for my mother, for my siblings. And I wasn't even living in Philadelphia when it happened. I was living here in Atlanta.
I remember.
I packed up and I went back to Philly because because we had never lost, there's 9 of us, because we had never lost a sibling before.
Right.
I wasn't sure how we were going to navigate it. And so I couldn't be the only one away from the family. I needed to be in the midst of it with them.
Absolutely.
It is my brother who said to me the last time I saw him, he got killed on September the 22nd. And isn't it funny how those dates get stuck in your head? You never forget those dates.
You never
forget the dates, right? So September the 15th was the last time I saw him. And on September the 15th, oh, wow. On September the 15th, he said to me, he said, man, listen, you are my celebrity sister. Let me come on and get my pictures with you now. So, because in a minute, we're not going to be able to touch you. And then a few days later, he was gone. And those words resonate with me even to this day. And when I shared it with my personal development group, whenever anything comes up, one of the girls, she said, your brother said that you was the celebrity sister. And when she said it, tears just bust out my face, because I was just like, oh my God, he did say that, you know? And so I just know that, you know, depression is real. I will never tell somebody that mental illness is not real. It's very real. The same way that your heart can be broken, your stomach, the physical things that happens. You know, one of my friends who's a mental health practitioner, she said to me, it's like having an invisible broken leg. When your leg is broken in real life, you know, your leg is broken, you got a cast on, people will come and they'll help you and you know, maybe get you a wheelchair or, you know, give you their shoulder to walk on and all that kind of stuff. But a mental break, you can't see it. And people don't get offered the same assistance because they can't see it. But you still need somebody to hold you up. You still need somebody to bring the crutches, bring the wheelchair, bring the love, bring the compassion when the depression hits.
That's why, you know, affirmations is so powerful. That's why meditation is so powerful. That's why having a Darlaina Rose is so powerful. You have to have, if it's not Darlaina Rose, it has to be a friend. It has to be someone who can speak to you in a way that they understand what you're going through. Because when you're depressed, you feel crazy.
Yeah.
You feel fucking crazy, man. Like you feel like I never get Jim Carrey. He said it so well, because Jim Carrey's story is such a powerful story. How he went through his depression and lost his ex-girlfriend or ex-fiance, and he said depression is our avatar or our body saying, I don't want to be here anymore. I want out of this game or this movie that you've created. You know, this role. I want out of this role. You know, it's like you're not inside your body. You know, and like to that story you said about the hood healer and how she was not inside her body for 6 years.
Yeah.
For 6 years, she was depressed in this sunken place. They call it a sunken place.
Yes.
You know, and when you're in that sunken place, in that low frequency, low vibration, you have to be so careful on what you're putting into your mind, into your heart, because when we have the wrong modalities, and you know, like for me, after my mom died, I started drinking heavily.
Yeah.
I was drinking and I was drinking and I was drinking, and I'm talking about going to the liquor store. TJ will tell you, he was there. Going to the liquor store and Taylor Port. I would drink Taylor Port.
Ooh, that's
horrible.
Ooh, that gets you so up.
And I would drink it in the bottle. I wouldn't even leave. I would leave the liquor store and drink it outside of the bag as I'm walking home. Like, it was just such a bad choice.
Yes. Oh my God.
It was so bad for my health and for my mental state. Mental state, because you do these things to distract you.
Yes.
When you're going through, and that's why I wrote down this list of things. You know, when you're going through depression, you have to be careful on what you eat and what you drink.
Absolutely.
There's foods that
depress you even more.
There's foods that depress you even more. There's drinks that depress you even more, and it causes you to go deeper.
Yes.
We have to eat foods that are uplifting to the spirit.
Yes, living.
You know, we have to eat foods that that heal our body. You know, when you eat and obviously this is what you're trained in. When you eat the foods that are heavy in grease and heavy in cholesterol.
Oh my God.
These things keep you at a lower state and at a lower vibration.
So my tagline is, you cannot heal a living body with dead food.
Yep.
The food has to be living just like you. The food has to be living just like you. And if the food
when
is
you're depressed, and you eat a Big Mac.
Oh my God.
You think that Big Mac is gonna make you happy?
It's gonna put you to sleep.
It might taste good for the moment, but eventually it's gonna keep you sunken. It's gonna keep you down. It's gonna keep you low at a low vibration.
Yes,
you have
absolutely.
to eat foods that are high vibrational.
Yes.
Alkaline foods. When you're depressed, do not eat. Listen, people, when you're sad and depressed, do not eat bullshit. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not going to make you happy.
No.
It's not going to make you happy. Do not drink liquor. It's not going to make you happy.
No.
It's not going to make you happy. Activities. When you are depressed or you're in a low vibrational state, you have to be careful on what type of events you go to. You can't go out to the rave parties, and you can't go out to the hip hop parties, and you can't go out to the, those things will be nice for the moment, but when you get home, it's going to bring you lower vibrationally. It's going to bring you low. It's going to bring you to a low state because it's giving you a feeling of high. You're at this event, you're high, you're dancing, you're partying, you're smoking, you're drinking or whatever. And when you go home, you're back to being sad again.
The silence.
Instead of it's a distraction. It's a distraction. When you go to these events, certain events, to get your mind off of it. We say, "Oh, I need to go out to get my mind off of things." No, you don't. Keep your mind on it.
You gotta work through it. That's where you win. You gotta work through it.
You gotta work through it.
Yeah.
Because the more that I'm gonna go out to this party, or I'm gonna go out to this event, or I'm gonna go do this. Yeah. The more you're pushing back the depression, and you think that it's going away. You think that, but it's still there. And as soon as you get home, it's gonna come right back. It's like a wave. It's gonna hit you.
So let me share this with you.
Please.
Can you see that? This is the Law of Attraction Planner, and this is the vibrational chart. And it tells you what to do. So under depression, it has insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. It has fear, grief, powerlessness, and victim. And the first thing it tells you to do is to affirm. And we talked about affirmations. The affirmations are, I am loved despite my sadness. My discomfort will not last forever. I am separated from my depression. It's just a feeling. I allow myself to let it go. I accept and let go of my blank easily. I let go of fear. I love and approve of myself. This situation works out for my highest good. I kindly ask for help and guidance. I am safe and sound and all is well, right? Then it says, spend time in nature. So it's going to give you the affirmations, then the action steps to feel better to increase your emotional vibration. And it says, become aware, accept your feelings and let go. Go exercise, go outside and become one with nature. Meditate and breathe deeply. Blow up a balloon. That's
me. That's me.
Yes.
Meditate. I help you meditate.
Yes. Practice mindfulness. Recognize your critical inner voice and change it. Keep a negative thought log. Watch a funny movie or show. Allow yourself to be less than perfect. Socialize with positive people. Then it says, spend time with positive friends, play with kids, play with pets, play your favorite movie, play a game, have great sex, watch funny movies, sing out loud, smell a flower, draw something nice, make a joke, cook your favorite meal, go for a massage, go for a facial manicure, give back, give 5 compliments to 5 people.
Ooh, so good.
Practice self-love, do charity work, say I love you to people you love, talk positive to yourself, read positive affirmations out loud, exercise, accept and let go, spend time in nature, say yes, eat and drink healthy, do yoga, practice heart healing, practice EFT, emotional freedom technique, the tapping.
Beautiful.
Go for a walk, let go of attachments, write down what you love, take a shower, groom yourself, take a bath, sauna, steam bath, take actions on your goals, accomplish a few small tasks, go to sleep, dress nicely.
Good.
So everything is already here. Right. All there. Your answers are already here. You get to make a choice. Me and Jathia, we have this word that we say between us. And whenever things are happening, and we could be talking about something, and we'll catch each other. We'll say something like, "You going deep? You going deep? You going deep? If you go any deeper, I'm not gonna be able to pull you out. You going deep? You going deep?" And she was like, "Are you going deep, Darlaina Rose? Are you going deep?" I'm like, "Nope, not going deep." "You going deep? Are you going deep out there?" "Nope, we're not going deep." We're not going to allow ourselves to go deep, because that's what happens. The feeling comes, and then when you feel the feeling, you got 2 choices. You can go deep or not. Deep or not. And the deeper you go, the worse it is. So you can say, "Oh, this is a sad day, and I'm not going to have a good day. This is a bad day already. Oh, I think this is a bad day. It's a bad day. It's a bad day." And before you know it, you have sunk all the way down deep.
All the way down.
And then it's going to take almost a miracle to bring you back out. Yep. You know, and sometimes people will go deep and be deep alone. You don't use your lifelines. You have lifelines all around you. Lisa Nichols calls them your rocket booster friends. Your rocket booster friends are your friends that will lend you their legs of faith when your legs are weak. And so that, yes, absolutely. And so your rocket booster.
You got to raise your hand too.
Yes, for sure. And so what happens with the rocket booster friend is you simply do this. "Hey, Jones, today I'm not feeling so great. I don't see the light in me. Can you tell me what you see in me again?" And let your friends paint the picture for you. Let them tell you who you are to them.
You have done that for me so many times.
Yeah.
I can't.
Same.
I can't even count on one hand. I can't even count on my hands, are not even, I don't even have enough hands to count how many times you've done that. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very blessed and very grateful to have someone like you to do that. It's almost like a video game, like, you know, like you have like extra lives, or like a mush, you know, if you're Super Mario, you're like the mushroom, you know, and you get the mushroom. It's like, you know, you have that extra life. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, you know?
Yeah. It's important. Yeah. It's so important to be that and to have that. And your rocket booster friends, you have to identify them in advance. You can't just pick them when you're going through something. You got to know who they are in advance. And so I know who my rocket booster friends are. And the way you identify your rocket booster friends is you just take a piece of paper and a pencil, you write down who your potential rocket booster friends are, maybe 5 to 10 people. And then you just take your finger and you put your finger on their name and feel the energy that comes from you putting your finger on their name. And sometimes what'll come up is, every time you talk to her, she telling you somebody else's business. So she probably might tell yours. So maybe she ain't your rocker booster friend, right? So you identify those. Yeah. So you got to identify who they are in advance. And by doing that, you absolutely will have that circle of people that you need. And so that circle of people that you need, it's a bunch of them. And I think my rocker booster friends doubled when my parents passed. So many people stepped up and was like, listen, I'm here for you. And, the rocket booster friends, your rocket booster friends, hey, Allison, your rocket booster friends are waiting for you to call them. Your rocket booster friends want you to call them. They don't want to read about that you attempted suicide or committed suicide when they were right there with you. Your rocket booster friends, if you say, I need you now, they're going to show up. They're going to show up. They're going to give you the support that you need, because the support is important. If I'm calling in this moment, it's because I absolutely have to.
100%.
Because I have to, because I can't, I'm going deep and I can't pull myself out. And so you need to have the people that can reach down. Listen, I have had people literally come and do this and said, let's go. We not doing that. We're not doing that. Matter of fact, let's go. We leaving this house. We coming out. Oh, they're gonna open up all the windows and the doors and let the light in. They're gonna burn some sage. They're gonna put on some music, and we're gonna dance it out. We're gonna dance it out. So, and those are the people that you want in your corner, so that when things go left, you got somebody that's gonna take you right back right.
I like what you said, that when you read the chart, you said something that was really important about having good sex. We all love good sex, obviously. But also you have to be very careful, because sometimes people will run to sex and they will have sex with another person who's depressed as well.
Yes.
Two depressed people having sex.
Depressed energy.
Not make a happy person.
No.
It makes it even worse.
No.
It brings you down to a lower state.
Yes.
To a lower state.
You don't want to trade that energy.
Going out on dates just because you're lonely, just because you're depressed.
No.
Not it.
Not it.
Not the vibe.
Not the vibe.
Like, I'm gonna just go out and have it.
Nah.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I'd rather go out. I'd rather take myself to a movie by myself.
Yep.
Or I'd rather go out with one of my rocket booster friends. Anytime I'm feeling sad, and sometimes I don't want to go out with nobody. Sometimes I don't want to see my friends, my family, nobody.
Yes.
But then when I do, like you say, when a friend comes to scoop you up, when you go out with the right friend, it lifts you up. It feeds you. It's upliftment. It's upliftment.
Absolutely. Feeds your soul.
Another thing that was so powerful, meditation, which is what I'm a meditative guy. I am a healing guide. And for me, after my mom died in 2011, it took me probably 2012. It took me like 2016 until like I was really like starting to come out of depression over my mom. Like I did a lot of things, like I had a lot of distractions, jobs, and I moved, and I had, I got opportunities, but I still didn't deal with the hurt, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I broke up with my ex that I started to really deal with the hurt. And in 2016, when I started to really focus on meditation and really go deep into healing myself and the tools that I learned through meditation, it changed everything.
Yeah.
Meditation helped me so much. And I know that, a lot of our community, from Philadelphia, Atlanta, the African American community, we're not as experienced in meditating.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you.
Yes.
That meditation will heal your soul.
And guess what?
Guaranteed.
For the Christians. We love the Christians. We love the Christians. For the Christians that believe that it is not of God, let me just tell you that the Bible says to pray and meditate on it. Yeah. I have a saying. I say praying is talking to God. When you kneel down and you pray, you kneel on your knees, you get on your knees, and you pray, dear God, right? That's mm-hmm. praying to God. Yes. When you meditate, you're sitting with God. Mm. God is sitting right next to you. So God is sitting there next to you. So instead of you talking to God, you're sitting with God. Presence. It's the same thing. But it's a little bit, for me, it's a little bit more deeper. It's intense. I'd rather somebody sit with me than me talk to them. Sit with me. Yeah. And and so I say that a lot. It's so powerful. It's done so many things for my life. And before we get off the call, I have a meditation that I'm not going to do the meditation, but I'll read the meditation, and it helps with opening the heart center. Okay. And then meditation, for me, my last thing on my note, meditation led me to plant medicine, and I'm sure we'll do this conversation one day. But plant medicine helped with relieve my depression tremendously. Ayahuasca, mushrooms, rape or hape, these sacred plant medicines that have been around for thousands of years help depression move through my body so well, because these medicines have a genetic code. They have a code that goes into your DNA and literally removes depression, removes anxiety, removes loneliness, and it's a spiritual thing that it comes in and it removes all of these things. So now that I'm educated in these practices and in these tools that have been given to us from Mother Earth, I'm able to help people walk people through these plant medicines. Speaking to them. I don't serve them yet, but mm-hmm. I speak, and because from my own experience of going through deep depression, I've been able to work with these medicines, and it's helped me tremendously. So, it's so many tools, like you have Darlaina Rose, the emotion code therapist, the health coach, the life coach that mm-hmm. can help you through depression. You have myself, meditation, plant medicine. Whoever's on this call today, if you're going through depression, we are here to help. Yes. We've gone through life. We've gone through the stages of life. Each stage of your life will require a new version of yourself. Yes. What version are you going to be? What version are you tapping into? Are you still in the old version of yourself where you're sad, lonely, depressed? But do you want to go into the new version of higher thinking, of higher consciousness, of being aligned with your heart, with your soul? If so, then you need a Darlaina Rose. Yeah. You need an emotion code therapy reading session. Yes. To pull the trauma out, to pull the pain out, so that you can move forward in life. We have come from extreme sadness, extreme loss. You're looking at two people that have literally completely changed around everything from the tools that we've been given. It's possible. It's so possible. It's so possible. It's so possible. And I'm so grateful and honored. I have this. So really quickly, there's a meditation by it's a Kundalini meditation
and it's by Yogi Bhajan, who is like a very well-known Kundalini master, and they say that he brought Kundalini to the the Western world or the Eastern world.
Mm-hmm.
And so the meditation is called pranic meditation for the heart center. This pranic meditation with the triangle mudra. A mudra is a movement that you do with your hands. So in Kundalini, you do like 2 different hand positions while you're meditating, and that's called a mudra. And so this pranic meditation with the triangle mudra of the Jupiter fingers works very intensely on the heart center. It can keep your brain in good shape, provided that your breath is long and deep and conscious. So the Jupiter index is basically you make a triangle with your heart and you touch the Jupiter. Jupiter is your index finger. This finger, Jupiter, is aligned with the planet. And thumb of your right hand to Jupiter finger and thumb of your left hand, creating a triangle shape between the 2 Jupiter fingers. The better the triangle you can make, the better will be the effect of the meditation. Place this mudra at the center of your chest, in front of your heart center. Close your eyes and begin consciously breathing long, slow, deep. Concentrate very deeply on your breathing and do not use automatic breath. Continue the meditation for 14 and a half minutes. And after 5.5 minutes of the meditation, you will enter a twilight zone, and you must steady your concentration on your pranic breath. So this meditation, doing this and breathing for 14 and a half minutes, will help open up your heart center and start to relieve depression. And it's something that you have to practice every day. It's something that I do often, and it helps relieve so much, you know. And even if you're not educated on, you know, holding your fingers or doing it, even if you sit in a quiet place, I tell people that don't meditate. If you sit in a quiet place on your bed in the living room and you just put on some beautiful music and you just focus on your breath, you know, you're just breathing in and out, you know, and that will relieve so much tension, so much anxiety, you know, just breathing in and out, breathing in and out. And yeah, that's my my meditation. How you say my meditation
Practice
advice for the day.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think that maybe you should do a video for 14 and a half minutes and put it on YouTube and allow people to follow you through that and be with you there. Because just me holding my fingers like that and putting it there, I felt something.
Wow. Yeah.
You know,
you create, you know, and they say a lot of the, you know, rappers and they you know, they throw up gang signs and they do all these things, and you know, Hov has that. A lot of that is those hand gestures, because our hands, there's energy in our hands. There's energy flowing through our whole body. But more specifically, there's energy in our hands. And so when you hold your hands a certain way, even when you pray, this is energy right here.
Yes.
When you do this is energy. This specifically means that you're talking, like you're doing something with God.
Yes. Yes.
This is the universal sign for prayer. Everybody knows.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. So your hands are very powerful. So when you do certain movements, you will start to feel certain things come in. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, absolutely. Brenda said, thank you for sharing this to you both. And she said, a great idea for you. And so I'm excited for what's next. And so these conversations can get real. And, you know, if these conversations have helped you in some kind of way, absolutely, please share this out with people. It'll be available for replay. If you're watching in replay, please leave us a comment and let us know that this is helpful for you, so that we can continue. And if there's a specific subject that you want to talk about, absolutely let us know. DM either one of us and let us know your ideas. You know, we really want to grow in this space to really share our experiences so that we can impact other people's lives so they don't have to experience some of the things that we've experienced, you know, by just giving you the tools that you need to be better and to do better for not only yourself, but for those who love you and those who depend on you, because ain't nobody got time for depressed people. Because all you're doing is taking away and wasting time in your life. You know, now that doesn't, that is just meaning the feeling of depression, not depression, the diagnostic medical term. There is a difference, because some people absolutely have breaks in mental status, unbalances in the chemicals in their brain. And so we're not talking about that. We're just talking about the feelings of depression. We're not talking about the diagnosis of depression. So there is a difference.
So good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Have an amazing weekend. I am so excited for what's next. We will be back next week with another conversation.
11.
Yes.
Jones and Rose podcast coming soon.
Yes, absolutely. Get ready. All right, you guys, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye for now. So good.